I just want to welcome everybody to our Better Broker Series session for this month. Joining us is Kristen Parker, our Education and Events Director at SPAAR. Kristen has been really busy getting a lot of great offerings together, some of which have kicked off this year, like our community campus, but also we've got some great educational offerings that are going to be taking place starting in January of 2021. And so to not take up any more of her time, I want to hand it over to Kristen.
Hi, thanks. Today I am going to go over some value to SPAAR membership that you can share with your agents. Both what has launched this last quarter, campus, as Mandy said, and what's coming in the new year. So with that, to get us started, basically I kind of reviewed with some colleagues, with Tracy Douglas. We do the annual survey every other year. I have a lot of feedback forms after classes, a variety of ways that members have kind of spoken up and talked about what they want SPAAR to do. COVID definitely kind of launched us faster than ever into a virtual environment. But essentially, members asked and we listened. So SPAAR is a very large jurisdiction, and we realized that not all of our members are taking advantage of something like our free education courses. One of the things that keeps coming up in asking is online. COVID again definitely launched us into that without whether we wanted to or not. And you know what? It has been a really positive experience. Even though we really had no time to plan, it has worked out really well. So with that in mind, I kind of started exploring some learning management systems with the hope that we could have a one central location for education, and then that kind of became a larger thing. So Community Campus is named that so that it will eventually become more than just education. But the goal is to just bring SPAAR to our members instead of always requiring them to come to us. So that was our answer to that. And then the other answer to a lot of members' questions had to do with this new REALTOR Success Academy that I'll talk about a little later. The ask always was from our newer agents in the 0 to 2 year area. After orientation, a lot of questions are, what next? What do I do next? What do I learn next? Where do I get help? Or very specific things. How do I do a CMA? How do I do incident? And while we've always had the individual classes, it became pretty clear that they were more looking for a structured program or path. So the REALTOR Success Academy will be born in that way. And I will kind of go over exactly what that is in a few minutes. So again, SPAAR Community Campus. I hope all of you got here through SPAAR Community Campus. And we're going to watch the video.
We have a vision that SPAAR Community Campus is really going to allow more members to get involved.
Hi, I'm John Fridlington. I'm the CEO at the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors, SPAAR.
Hi, I'm Kristen Parker. I am the Education and Events Director here at SPAAR.
The SPAAR Community Campus is a vision that is finally coming to reality. The concept of it was originally to provide distance learning. That has now been expanded. We'll be able to use this technology not only for education programs, but also for committee meetings, leadership meetings, town halls of our members to express their opinions on various critical issues of the day. So it's going to be a very useful, very flexible tool to enhance engagement on many levels.
Through various ways of class feedback and the annual survey from our members, we discovered them asking a lot for online, basically bringing us to them. our jurisdiction is quite large, and so it made sense.
Because of the wide geographic distribution of our 7,400 members throughout the greater Twin Cities metro, we have very few events that members can attend who live at one extreme geographically of our area from another. The community campus is a benefit for members because it provides them options. It provides them access to the association on their terms. They can access recorded events, education courses, etc. at their convenience 24/7.
Members can expect a positive experience in a central location where they don't get lost. And that's really a big thing for when we were designing this. It really does walk you through step by step so you won't miss something. It's all spelled out for you.
With the onset of COVID-19, we've been forced to be more creative and move a little more quickly toward providing distance learning and remote engagement options. This campus will provide that opportunity to allow people the choice, when it is appropriate, to either attend in person or to attend in a distance learning manner. The real estate industry changes dramatically, sometimes literally overnight, and SPAAR, I think, has been very adept at meeting those needs, creating new solutions, and sometimes getting ahead of the problem and having a solution ready even before the problem emerges.
When it comes to member engagement, we have a vision that SPAAR Community Campus is really going to allow more members to get involved. And if you've been here for a month or you've been here for a year, you know that SPAAR always has call to action of getting involved in your local community and with SPAAR itself. So our vision is that this campus is really going to help bring more members together at SPAAR and in their own communities.
So that pretty much sums it up, but I will go into campus a little further in depth. So the development began really in September after we had some presentations from various vendors. Once we picked the one we were going with, it kind of development started. So all the behind the scenes that I've been working with our vendor with. So from September to November, we kind of built it. November launched the first classes. And to date, in the month and a week that we've had it up and running, we've had nearly 500 students through classes through campus. And while there have been some bumps along the way with just new transitions, getting people to campus, understanding how that works, the first time it does take a little longer than you're used to because it's new, and we understand that. But everybody that makes it to a class, it's nothing but positive feedback, and that really does make me happy, as well as all the members here that I report to, and John and Tracy. We're really happy with how it has turned out so far. So like I said, the community campus has goals for the future. Currently available on campus, you'll find classes, both continuing ed and non-continuing ed. We hold things like new member orientation, 2 days of classes, where used to be 50 people attended, and now we have anywhere from 50 to 100 in our sessions. We host Good Morning YPN. That used to be an in-person networking breakfast. We took the breakfast out with COVID and put it online. So YPN hosts their Good Morning YPN sessions through the campus. Better Broker series, as you all are here, have become a thing on campus. And the unique thing about Better Broker series is you all are a niche community, and therefore on our community campus, we have such a thing as the community forum, which only those folks that join a Better Broker series can join and communicate with each other. So you will find that on your campus where it says join the community. That's a sort of private forum group for you all to kind of chat back and forth, give each other ideas or have questions or talk about whatever the topic was of the month, whatever you decide to do with it. But that is part of the Better Broker series kind of area of the campus. I host once a month practice class sessions. As I said, there have been folks that, you know, it's a bumpy road the first time you're trying to navigate or understand what you're supposed to do. And so I do hold practice sessions. Some of it has to do with just navigating the campus, but more often than not, it has to do with Zoom and the settings. So I host those once a month so that agents can feel comfortable navigating through campus, getting into their class, making sure their Zoom is working, their video can go on, their settings, their audio, their sound works, their microphone works, all of that. So I help them walk them through that so that they're comfortable the next time they actually go to a CE class. And then they're not anxiety ridden that they may miss CE credits because something's not working. Luke is my other half of that sort of tech team. While he hasn't hosted any practice sessions yet, he is the man behind the technology help when classes start. So because I am in classes half hour early, he's the one answering phones and helping members connect their audio settings and things day of. So that has been really good teamwork there. And then Better and Better podcasts. If you've been through campus, you may have noticed on both the homepage and up at the top, it says Better and Better. And that is something coming also in 2021. Actually, it might be the first episode may be launching here this month yet. We are doing a podcast with some current events, topics, interviews, that kind of thing. So Luke is behind that. He's the mastermind behind that with Joe. So when you are trying to sign up for something to get it to go to campus, the registration hasn't changed. You're still going to SPAAR.com. You're still going to the calendar and registering for a class or an event or whatever you're trying to register for, no different than you had before. After registration, the confirmation that you have registered comes when it gets added to your dashboard. So when it goes and is populated onto the campus, which currently is only once a day, because it is still a new product, we do have a couple manual processes that we're working behind the scenes to get to work automatically. Once that happens, we'll be really, really happy. But right now it's manual process once a day, usually in the morning. So there can be a delay in when you register on the website to when you get the confirmation email and it's on your campus dashboard. But when it does populate, you get the confirmation email that says this is on there. When it's time for your class or your event or whatever it is, this is the pathway you'll follow. And it kind of just tells you to go to SPAAR.com and follow this pathway of you would go to SPAAR.com, you would go to member login. Once you're logged in, you'll go to the SPAAR CC tab above your name, and that takes you directly to the campus dashboard. So we made it so that you didn't have to remember another name and password. There is a unique name and password associated to the campus, but we figured that wasn't necessary to make everybody remember and change all the time. So we connected it single sign-on to your SPAAR member portal. So for attending things, you'll always just go to my dashboard. You'll find the event or class that you're trying to attend, like today's Better Broker, and then you'll just navigate through. Now I'm in a preview, so my sidebar is not always showing, but essentially there's this kind of roadmap to where you're going through the different modules is what the different pages are called. So whether it's figuring out what you need to download for the class or the event, the classes require you to always acknowledge that you understand how the CE credits work. And then the Join Your Live Classroom button or roadmap link will always try to open the Zoom room, the classroom where we are. So as soon as you click on that, you would hit Open Zoom Meetings. Once you hit next module, it'll take you to evaluate, and that's always the end of the session. So if you're always hitting next module, at the very, very end, you will get a pop-up, and I'll show it in just a second. You'll get a pop-up that says you've completed the class, and that just means you've gone through all of the sort of map steps of getting through that class. Doesn't necessarily mean you've earned CE credit, as all along there it tells you there are things that you have to do. But so we kind of designed that to, like I said in the video, really walk you through step by step. The emails that you get, the confirmation and the reminder email, give you step by step how to get to campus. So we're hoping, and we're always changing it as we get feedback from members that may struggle, but we're hoping that it really does make it very simple for folks. So what's next? Future campus goals. Next on the agenda to add to campus would be meetings. So board of directors meetings, committee meetings. I've had a conversation with Jennifer about adding Toastmasters to campus. We'll have speakers and events eventually on here that are, not necessarily related to education. And then once the world opens back up and we have in-person things again, we will still be observing some distance. And so we realize that virtual is not going away. It's not going to go away for meetings. It's not going to go away for classes. So the idea is to then host hybrid education classes where we can have our instructor in person with the dozen folks that are comfortable to come into SPAAR and sit in a physical classroom, and then all those members that are spread around the Twin Cities still attending the same class the same way they are now through campus. So one session, both areas, hybrid education, and we're really excited when we get the opportunity to test that out. And then way down the line, I will be exploring how to get SPAAR ramped up to have on-demand education classes. So some of our education partners through the years, such as CE Shop, have always had these types of classes where you pay for a class and you can take it whenever you want in your jammies at midnight. That is something that members ask for. Why don't you have weekend classes? Why don't you have evening classes? And we recognize that that is something that they do want. Right now, we only offer classes while we're open and while I'm here. So it is something that I will be exploring down the road once we get everything else kind of situated and up and running. But that will be coming. You'll probably see more about that. My guess would be going into 2022. All right, so switching gears into next year, 2021 Success Academy. So like I said before, we get a lot of feedback from especially the newer agents, 0 to 2 years. So kind of looked at all the things that they had been asking for, what classes do we already have, and how can we create sort of a package deal or a more defined path for them to really make sense of where they're supposed to be going with what we already do and what we can offer. So this is what was born. While it is designed for those newer agents, it's open to all members. I definitely, having been in real estate for as long as I have, know that even the members that have been around for a long time sometimes want something like this to sort of circle back and kind of jumpstart their thoughts again on what they want to do or how they want to do their business. So it's open to everyone. So the SPAAR's Realtor Success Academy will be the professional development path for better agents. We're hoping that it will guide them through 4 distinct programs, starting with new member orientation, giving them a understanding of their purpose and their value in the real estate industry and helping to shape their future successes. The value of this program, like I said, it's comprised of 4 parts. It can take months, it can take years. There's no set time and there's no rush to it. It's not like it has to be done tomorrow. And it doesn't have to be done in your first 2 years. So that is kind of the beauty of it. Like I said, you can be here for years and years and think, you know what, I need a refresher on something, and then start that part. The dollar value to this program, if you added up all the CE that we're going to include in all the parts, it's more than $200 value as a member benefit for free. And we know that our members really do appreciate the free education opportunities that we provide for them. So that was pretty important to include that in as many of the pieces as we could. So the pathway, like I said, starts with orientation. Orientation to the association is a requirement. So 100% of SPAAR members will have already completed that first stepping stone. The focus on education in the 2-day orientation now really has to do with understanding your membership, what the benefits are, some of the tools, and really figuring out what the value is to being a SPAAR member. The real estate fundamentals section is a YPN sponsored program where it is really designed, as I said, for that 0 to 2 year agent to follow orientation, where they're asking, what do I do next? Or what are the particular areas like CMA or negotiating that I want to learn, and how do I get my hands on those? Enhancing professionalism is that third piece. So that's really aimed to take a much closer look at your professionalism as a realtor. So whether it's communication or diversity, or what particular elements we include in that, that's where that program is going to sit. And then commitment to excellence is the National Association's program with 11 competencies. I'm sure you all have heard about it. It is excellent. I took it myself and completed it. And it has all kinds of different things, just continuing to elevate that professionalism and that understanding of a realtor. So we made sure to include that as the fourth piece of the puzzle. While we don't provide it in the way of, we didn't build it, it is there and it is very important. So it is now part of the Success Academy. You must complete your C2EX endorsement in order to say that you've been through the entire academy. So a closer look at the different path steps. This is our orientation 2-day program as it is right now. It offers 9.5 hours of continuing education. And we have, myself and Tracy have looked through all of the feedback from this year's orientation. We launched it at the beginning of 2020. And while there have been a few instances that has been a little difficult to navigate to get someone that maybe is has a full-time job or is part-time, works during the day, to attend both days, not one person has regretted it. So, or at least they didn't tell us that. But not one person has regretted having to attend 2 days of mandatory orientation. 9.5 hours of continuing ed is a lot of CE to get out of the way when you are first in the business. So I think they're very grateful for that. And the classes that we include in it are very fun basics, really jump-starting your business. So really learning what kind of overview of what that RPR tool is. Safety is very important for realtors, as you all know. So that is a no-brainer to add to our orientation. Agency and fair housing, one of the mandatory classes, or actually 2 of the mandatory classes as part of your Minnesota license are included. Ethics, of course, as an association requirement, and then introduction to MLS. So that is the biggie that everybody wants. So that is included in there as well. So the second piece of Success Academy will be launched. The very first offering will be February 2021, and fundamentals will be offered every other month. So our anticipation out of, say, 50 members coming from new member orientation is we're anticipating probably 20 to 25 of them wanting to look at real estate fundamentals right away, either the next month or the next 2 to 3 offerings, sometime in the next probably 3 to 6 months after they've finished orientation. Because the classes that are part of it are so very what's next steps. So all year this year, we've been talking about that this Success Academy is coming in our orientation. And every month I get people emailing me of, I don't see it on the calendar, how do I register? So Fundamentals is going to be a 3-day program. It's actually 2.5 days, including 7.5 hours of CE. So some of the things that we looked at, the members asking for, I want tax and financial planning as a realtor. Great. So some of them you see don't have CE because sometimes they're not approved for CE by Commerce, and sometimes they need to be not so static in the content. We need to be able to adjust it so there is no CE. So taxes and financial planning. We have asked our affiliate committee members to attend Fundamentals in some capacity to give a brief presentation on their side of the real estate industry. So we've got a title insurance member or a title member coming to talk about title, what it is, what it means, what's important, what do you need to tell your clients, that kind of thing. Just understand it yourself, maybe. We've got a home inspector coming to talk about the importance of home inspections, a loan officer to discuss the mortgage programs and pitfalls. And then we've got a warranty, home warranty affiliate member to talk about home warranties, and it's on the purchase agreement and that kind of thing. So the other classes are value of a realtor, professional courtesies. So we're going to right off the bat make sure that they are kind of thinking about the professional courtesies, calling when you are going to submit an offer, some of the basics, but not everybody thinks about them. Marketing yourself and your business is a big one that has been asked for, whether it's social media or other ways to market yourself. So Luke is taking care of that. There's a pretty strong emphasis on social media there because that is kind of the number one thing that people are asking for. But it's a great 2-hour program. CMAs in North Star MLS, that's a popular class, so we've included that. Just learning how to do a CMA and doing it in North Star, which is your kind of ground tool, right? So just knowing how to at least do it in that program to get them started. We are asking someone to write us a class for negotiating. So there will be a brand new class at SPAAR for this program. She has kind of told me about what she's writing it for, and we've had this discussion. There's different ways to talk with different clients, different age groups, different things like that. So there'll be some of that in there, and possible some role playing, which would be kind of nice. And then Instant Authenticine, another very, very popular class and very timely in a COVID world where everything has to be done digitally. So that has been included as well. Enhancing Professionalism is a 1-day class, currently has 2.75 hours of CE. We're looking at adding another at least hour to that, hopefully with a class that is kind of being written in the topic realm of diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this day currently as it is written starts with professionalism in an online world. So again, those communication skills, but also with when you're writing online. Okay, so we all have seen the new code of ethics, SOP come, standard of practice.
Article 10.
You.
Article 10, SOP 10-5.
So we've all seen that. So professionalism in an online world is very relevant. We're all at home in our jammies, just being keyboard warriors, as they say, giving our opinions to the world on social media, Twitter. But what about when you're writing emails to not just clients, but to fellow realtors and you've had a terrible transaction? So all kinds of professionalism happening all everywhere. This is a great class to kind of wrap your brain around things that you should probably consider when you're in the heat of the moment, so to speak. And then Jennifer's group with Toastmasters has graciously agreed to add extra sessions, 1-hour sessions during these professionalism class days to give those folks that enroll in this program a kind of a test the water of Toastmasters. But not just to test out Toastmasters, but to test their public speaking skills and help build their confidence in public speaking. That is what realtors do, whether it's with new people they've never met, or they're presenting offers, or what have you. So public speaking is very important. That's why that is included. Owning Up is a really popular class now that Joe McKinley teaches. So then we've switched gears in the afternoon into that sort of diversity realm and that equity realm. And so that is why we're kind of looking at adding another 1 hour class to that. So the Owning Up really, if you've never taken it, kind of talks about the Mapping Prejudice Project, but it highlights the Jim Crow of the North documentary and starts at the root of the problem in Minnesota and where it came from and what happened in the real estate side of it, and redlining and that kind of thing. And it's an excellent class. And then the goal is then to, after starting with the where we started, what now, right? So DEI real estate topic class, kind of looking at resources. So that's the goal there. And I think it'll be really well received by some folks. Again, this is, our whole academy is kind of a moving target, so to speak. So there's no reason that it won't change after we've done a few, or after we try it for a year. That's kind of our standard. We try things for at least a year before we look at changing them. And so then that fourth piece, again, commitment to excellence. Once they're endorsed, then they have, sort of graduated the SPAAR Success Academy. We do have pins. A lot of our members like the pins. So this little R diamond part of the logo I have had made into pins to give to our graduates. There'll be a certificate. We'll be making a big deal out of all of our members that go through the whole program. And that's kind of what that is. So the, like I said, the orientation has already been in progress. The C2X part is already in progress. The two new pieces of this puzzle are the second and third pieces. So the second piece being fundamentals starts in February. It's every other month. The enhancing professionalism first offering will be in March, and that is 4 times a year. And that's all I have.
So with that, any questions? Chat that had come through, Paul had said that you've taken 2 offerings for credit through the new system and was impressed with the ease of use. And Patty Jo, you said you could have a book club, read The Color of Law as an optional add on for that part. Funny that you say that Patty Jo, because we've talked about that in the professionalism committee as well. But any questions for Kristen, and you kind of see what we're trying to roll out, but just implications for your offices?
I think it's going to be great, and how easy, like you say, just even, once things are back to possibly being in person, we still live in Minnesota, and most winters will probably have snow.
Yeah,
and it's a great option.
yes.
I think I went on last week and did a class. I thought it was fabulous. I mean, the first time you log in, there's some steps that you have to go through, but it's easy peasy. So I just, recognize Kristen as kind of the, here you are, under the fire, figure something out, and, did your due diligence and found a provider that could do this for us. And I'm really excited about YPN coming up with ideas for, enhancing members, learning, and, what do you do when you're in real estate? So I'm super excited. I think that, there's many opportunities for agents to learn through this. So thank you.
Thanks.
Kristen, do you want to talk at all too, just a little bit about our SPAAR Squad offerings and the implications for being able to use this for offices as well?
So this year, and kind of coinciding with taking a look at a new website and how we wanted to kind of change the pages and update pages and that kind of thing. And especially with the fact that everything we've done since March has been virtual. So SPAAR Squad coming to your offices has not been a thing. And trying to do a virtual class for you all, being invited into some of your sales meetings, it lacks the control and the reporting that I would need from a virtual setting to do CE. So with a lot of different things in up in the air, we kind of sat down, and Joe and I and Tracy and looked at, we need to kind of separate SPAAR Squad and CE. And so while we've always notoriously called them the same thing, they are still both there, but we wanted to make sure we know what somebody is asking for. So if you go to our website, even today, there's a Better Broker Resources option under members that for all of you gives you a couple of different request forms. So you've got SPAAR Squad, which we have now identified as your meeting topics. If you want to invite us to a meeting to talk for 15 to 30 minutes, however long you need, about some specific topics, and there's a list there that you can choose from, or reach out to us, and if you've got another idea, we're happy to join your meetings to do that and do that presentation. No CE. Then we recognize that brokers are trying to provide their members CE in their offices. So we came up with the term CE to go. And there is another request form on there differently with SPAAR's CE classes that we are able to offer because staff like myself or Mandy or Joe are the instructors. So we are available to do that. We don't have to hire out instructors to do your offices. So there are limited classes that we're able to do, but there is a request form for that. So we call it CE to go, and you basically work directly with me in kind of scheduling that out. The thing to note, and is much easier with virtual, is all CE classes, no matter if you're requesting it specific to your office or I just put it on our calendar offered by SPAAR, has to be open and available to all agents in Minnesota. So this virtual environment makes it very easy to do that because they're all just coming to the SPAAR calendar anyway. So at least while it's virtual, if you were to do a CE to go request and we schedule it, for your schedule and your office, and we pick that day and time, so that how that works, once we kind of narrow that down, I will put it up there for on the SPAAR calendar and allow your office to register depending on how much time between when we schedule it and when the class is, will be up on the calendar specific to your office for a period of time, and then opened up to membership at large because it needs to be. So that's just how we're going to kind of do it virtually for now.
Great. Any other thoughts or questions or applications of this tool that you want to talk about?
How about the next module?
The required module?
Yes.
Yeah, so we actually
Uh-oh.
Oh, she froze. See if we get her back. Wow, that's quite the pause. Huh.
It's a cute look.
Yeah, she looks very enthusiastic anyway. Well,
Yes, she's excited about the module.
Is she singing the national anthem? Or?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get her back. On how that goes. The other thing I was going to say too is as I was going to ask her on your behalf is just to do a plug to remind everybody about code of ethics compliance too, and that we are about a year off for getting that done. And I know, let's see here. Oh, she's gone. Let's see.
She'll come back.
Yeah, we'll get her back in. So as I wing this one here, but I know that we're working at kind of getting that looked at, and having been part of that process as we were onboarding Kristen and Luke, it was kind of an interesting experience for me to be able to, be part of that. And there's a lot of reporting because, as you know, SPAAR does all of the tracking for the National Association for Compliance that people have taken the class or that they have completed or they've completed it through commitment to excellence is the other option for that. So there'll be more. Oops, here she is. Okay, we'll get her back in. Let's see.
I'm going to say I just took that ethics class last week, and it was quite simple. And I'm really happy that I'm ahead of the team.
Kristen, you froze on you had your head thrown back like you were singing, as someone said, the Star Spangled Banner, and then you disappeared. And so while you were coming back in, I kind of made a plug, and the thing I was going to have you talk about too is just code of ethics compliance, since we got a broker group here, and the fact that we're doing code of ethics classes, using this technology, and the fact that we're about a year out from the deadline. So if there's anything else you wanted to add there, that was my tap dancing while you came back in.
Yeah, sorry. New laptop woes, as I said before. I somehow have lost internet on it. I'm on my phone now. So first I will say about the required module question that I think I froze during. We do have a required module on the campus. We had our first one in November.
Oh,
It was wildly successful. Lynn Lagarde is teaching our current module. So basically the class portion is attended the exact same way. And then everyone is directed back to campus, and where you will see in a normal class just an evaluation form after attending the Zoom classroom for the module. When you go back to campus, there is the test. So everybody is then required to go back right away and take the test, and it tells you right away if you've passed or failed, and if you failed, it makes you take it again with new questions. I mean, it really worked seamlessly. I had no trouble with the group that I had. There were about I think about 40 in the first class. So the next one will be in January. We'll have one every month from January to June.
Patty,
May I
question?
ask a question, Kristen?
Yeah.
Patty Jo. So when you say you go back to campus, so what do you mean? Are we leaving and then have to log in, or?
Yeah, so the reason I say that is because for a lot of people, when you are through your campus and you click on join classroom, it will either open your Zoom app, and so you're not in the campus window any longer, or sometimes it opens in whatever normal browser you have, and it may open outside of the campus window. So campus is usually still open in your browser, so you just have to go back to that tab. You're still there. That's what I mean by that. Great question. So to Mandy, you asked about code of ethics compliance.
That was me,
right?
tap dancing, yeah. So, and I had just said we're about a year out. We are offering these classes online. If you have any other details you want to share with this broker group.
So I don't know how many of you have met or know the name Sherry, who is our member engagement director, but her and I have had an extensive conversation about code of ethics, to which we have kind of put a timeline together of what for this next 13 months here, or 12 maybe now, that we'll be kind of talking about code of ethics with members, with you all. So yes, code of ethics for all agents due by the end of next year, December 2021. We've had quite a few members begin and take it already. In 2019, SPAAR offered a package deal for about 6 months where you could take the required module during that year, pay for the module, stay and get your ethics. It was like a full day, education day blitz. You bought the module, you took the module, you stayed, and you took code of ethics, and you got that done for free. Normally code of ethics for us is a $10 class. We have very few classes that we charge for, but that is one of them. So going forward in the next 12 months, like I said, we kind of have a timeline of how we're going to be talking about it. One of the things she and I talked about is quarterly office reports. We have a lot of offices, so it's a little not feasible to do it every month, but we thought quarterly we could handle it, and we would run the reports and send them to the brokers or the OAs and say, this is who you have done, this is who you don't have done, that are SPAAR members, please remind them, kind of thing. So you'll see that there'll be broker slides talking about it for you all. They'll be about halfway through the year next year, maybe June, July, probably July actually. There'll be a postcard that goes out to any SPAAR member that is still outstanding and with 6 months to go. So we have a pretty good handle on how we're going to do it. But yeah, now's the time to start promoting it.
Patty
Another
Jo?
question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just loading you with questions. Since there's been a change in the code of ethics, and are we going to see any change in the education portion of that moving forward, or is it going to stay the same? Thank you.
So the current CE class stays the same. When we receive more direction on what and how we should teach it, we would have to look at changing the class.
That one has
written now is
specific
that.
requirements from the National Association about the components that have to be included. So that's what's in the current approved class. And then the other part too, and Chris and I can speak to this a little bit too, is for the class that we were talking about, that would be kind of the follow-up to the owning up class. That would be more actionable. That's going to be kind of the what's in your toolkit for being compliant. And so, because we're not going down the line talking specifically and diving deep into the code, but we can talk about the elements of the code, and that, hey, you are obligated to, to not discriminate or have hate speech against protected classes. How do you do, so we can have kind of the tips with that without diving deep into the here's the rule and what it means. We can just talk about some of the best practices that go along with that. And then Kristen, the last question I was going to pose to you for these guys too is obviously new members, get roped in right away and they get scheduled for that 2-day class. What are we going to be doing for that middle and second program to promote that or encourage that? Is there anything you want brokers to do to let their agents know about those opportunities or encourage them?
So it will be in broker slides, it will be in e-news, all of our traditional methods of kind of spreading the word. If you do find value in it, I definitely encourage you to talk about it with your agents. While the first step orientation is absolutely a mandatory requirement for being a SPAAR member or being a member for the National Association, with the ethics portion too. The other portions are not required. So it's purely based on, do you find value in it? Is this something of interest to you? We believe, just from feedback and requests, that it is going to be valuable, but it is something that I'll be monitoring and watching all along the way to see, did we do it right? Did we do it justice? That kind of thing. I do recognize that, brokers, big brokers, small brokers, whatever, have different programs that they offer their agents. And it's by no means am I, trying to eliminate or compete or step on any toes there, really just keeping all members at SPAAR in mind, from all the sizes of brokerages that are members here, to offer everyone, what they're looking for. So yeah, if you do find it valuable and you want to at least share it with your agents, I would be grateful. But it will be in a lot of different communication to all members.
Great. Any other questions, folks? Comments, thoughts? Well, thank you for all joining us today. Our next session, and I'll follow up with more information about this with you shortly, is going to be January 15th, 2021. And there we're going to be joined with John Fridlington and some of our board members to talk about the strategies we've just completed and are rolling out for SPAAR. So if you want to know more SPAAR initiatives and what's planned, you'll have a chance to see that there. So I'll get that information out. You'll see that advertised shortly as well. But again, thanks, Kristen, for being with us today. And thank you all for joining us, and happy holidays. And we'll have this recording available too shortly on the campus. So you can come back and look at this presentation there if you missed anything. So thanks for joining us.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thanks, Kristen.
Have a good
Thanks,
day,
Jim.
everybody.
Thank you.
All
Happy
right.
holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.